Hey everybody, my name is Dennis Wilson and I'm here today with Craig Peloquin. Craig, say hi from White Rock.
Hey there from White Rock, British Columbia, Canada.
And I'm here hanging out in Yaletown, Vancouver, Canada. And we just wanted to have a little bit of a discussion about our latest little guide to helping restaurants that we call How to Use 5 Simple Secrets for Restaurant and Staff COVID-19 Survival. And it's the ultimate guide to maximum revenue and staff retention for restaurants during COVID-19.
Sure is there, Dennis. And really, we got 5 simple secrets that we're going to share with you today. Let's give them the highlights of what we're going to talk about.
Well, we're going to first talk a little bit about how you need to make your COVID-19 safety protocols transparent in order to give comfort to your customers.
Right. Then we're going to talk about how you can design take and bake, long-lasting, and pantry items with your takeout.
Absolutely. And then from there, we're going to take you on a little journey of the concept of optimizing your takeout menu. You may or may not have one right now. If you do, we might have some tips to make you get more out of it.
Right. Then if you're going to do your own delivery versus using some of the apps out there.
Yeah, and in fact, we're going to suggest that either way, you need to do your own delivery. And, now's the time. If you've never done it before, you get a bit of a discount from the government of Canada giving you wage rebates. It's the perfect time to start something.
And then finally, we're going to be a really important part is collecting customer data so that you can follow up and get new orders.
Resell and invite them back. It's no longer they're walking down the street, they see your sandwich board and go, you know what? Let's stop in there. We haven't been there in a while. They're not walking down the street, they're not passing your sandwich board, and there's nowhere to walk into. So we need the data now to be able to invite them back digitally. So 5 simple secrets to surviving. That's it. You can stop watching now. We've done everything we've done.
We're going to go in a little bit more detail. Let's talk about making your COVID-19 safety protocols transparent.
Yeah, and remember, this is as much of a journey for the restaurant owner to sort of learn their way through the way they should be behaving. I mean, the FDA has a great document with a bunch of steps on it. More and more of this information is becoming available. But we suggest that you create a document with images so that it's very, very clear. And don't just use generic images, use images of your actual practices. You might want to create some videos, easy enough to do. Just use your phone, hold it this way when you make videos, not this way when you make videos. And you can whip up some videos of what those processes are. And of course, if you have a website, you'd probably want to make links to those videos and that document on your website. The key is this is for your customers' comfort. They want to know that you're doing things the right way to not pass it on should it be there, and you're taking the temperature of employees on the way in so that you know nobody's sick's working with you and that you're following the things that keep them safe.
Absolutely, Dennis. So make your safety protocols transparent for your customers.
Absolutely. And make them really detailed. The more detailed, the more people will believe in them. So make very detailed procedures.
There you go. Now, this was a lot of fun, Dennis, and a lot of restaurants that are doing this are seeing really a big increase in their average sale as well. Design take and bake, long lasting, and pantry items.
Yeah, so why don't we start with take and bake, because it's probably the simplest way to go. Things to think about are tuna casserole, burrito casserole, pierogi casserole, notice casserole, meatloaf, shepherd's pie. Things that you can make, they can be tossed into the freezer and they last a long time in the freezer. Then you just pull them out and reheat them. Almost every culture has them, right? Indian food has their version of a family style, something that comes out of the freezer just perfect. Soups freeze incredibly well, and they're a big seller in the wintertime. But if you get into doing things like take and bake, you can sell them as frozen, you can sell them as take and bake, you can sell them as take and freeze, you can do them delivery. And the key to this strategy is once you've made these, you don't sell them one at a time. You sell them 5 or 10 at a time. There's a little restaurant we know that was struggling and going through the challenges of everyone, Craig, out actually in Abbotsford. And all they started doing was take and bake lasagnas. Now, a couple of interesting keys were, so the normal restaurant serving is already sort of more than a human can eat at most sort of Italian restaurants, unless it's fine Italian dining. So what they did was they increased the portion size a little bit and then put it into one of those, whatever, 9-inch, foil containers that can be heated up, and sold it as a 2 serving. Because at home, people don't eat as much as they do in the restaurant. And they were selling $8 lasagnas 10 at a time, and they can't keep up. They've literally got all their staff back to work. They've got the next door neighbor's staff back to work. And all they're doing is this. They do nothing else. They don't do anything cooked. They joke that they don't even need freezers, because as fast as they're coming off the assembly line, they're put into someone's car, 10 at a time for $80. Now, how about if you had a takeout deal that if you wanted, you can get 10 of these to come with your takeout order, and you take that takeout order from a $50 to $130 item, and you just fed them for a week. This is the strategy, right? Sell more, sell more, sell more.
Right. And, my favorite, their mac and cheese. I mean, how many different places have a different mac and cheese than somebody having to make, craft dinner at home? Maybe you got a little lobster macaroni and cheese. Anything that your restaurant was famous for.
Well, and the key is making sure that it freezes, right? So whatever you're doing, you got to test it. You got to freeze it in your at-home freezer, and then you need to revive it in your at-home oven, so that you've done a little bit of testing to make sure that you're providing a product that reheats without a commercial kitchen and tastes good and you're happy with. Right? So it's going to take sometimes some tweaking. You might end up to have to make a sloppier sauce because maybe that makes it better. There's going to be things that you're going to have to adjust. So this isn't as simple as just throw it out there and do it, because if you deliver a bad product the first time, it's over, right? So you want to do a little testing and make sure that testing's not done in commercial kitchens where you have colder fridges and hotter ovens.
Like things like chicken wings by the 2-pound bag, Dennis.
Yeah.
You can quickly throw into the oven, either reheat. They could be already cooked and just need to be recooked. Maybe you got to cook them at home with special instructions. Have your sauce ready to go.
Think your process, right? Think of the process. You're creating a bit of an experience. You're selling them a great big bag of chicken wings exactly the way you buy them from your supplier. 2 kilograms of chicken wings, boom. And then you're selling them a jar of your sauce, and you're explaining exactly how to cook the chicken wings the right way, and exactly how to heat up the sauce, and then exactly how to sauce the wings. Because at home, when we go to sauce something, we almost always undersauce it because we sort of feel guilty about using half a jar of sauce. People don't know these things. So if the process is, look, we know it's a lot of sauce, but you need to use it all. Get a great big bowl, put your chicken wings in, dump the sauce in, toss them around like you see on TV, and boom. Teach the process of the reassembly, right? Sell frozen subs, Craig. What if you said, hey, we got 6 subs? It turns out that lunch meat or cold cuts, charcuterie, whatever you want to call it, it actually freezes exceptionally well. So if you sent out 6 individual packs of, your vacuum sealed things, and you sent 6 packs, and you sent 6 buns, and you sent 6 packets or a container of the sauces that they can put in the fridge. And now they've got subs that they can pull out, make within 10 or 15 minutes, fresh baked feeling, wonderful, wonderful quality sub. And you just sold 6 subs at once instead of hoping they come back for more. You've amortized the delivery cost to the company. You've amortized the delivery cost to the customer. So the new world is about thinking outside the box, Craig. Oh, outside the box, the delivery box, let's think about outside.
There you go. Thinking outside the box would be the selling pantry items that people are having difficulty getting right now, like flour.
Yeah, imagine if they could just pick up a pound of flour from you for $5. Wait a second. A pound of flour is only like $1.50 in the supermarket, but it's not 00, 000. It's not the really, really good stuff that you have. Again, don't be rapious, but understand that you're providing a convenience item. So price it at a convenience store price, right? But yeah, all your pantry items. Another idea for the take and bake for anyone who's trying to just increase the order, and you have a pastry chef that's standing by. Get your pastry chef to make a bunch of croissants. Don't cook them, freeze them, make the batter, get them there, freeze them. And then when they buy their dinner, you sell them a 6-pack of bake at home croissants, because croissants are really hard to make. I know I tried. They're really, really hard to make. So if you're thinking along the line, I just got them dinner delivered, but I also delivered breakfast for the next 5 days for them, that's 5 days of breakfast they're buying from you instead of from someone else. And you can get a couple of dollars each for them because you're giving them the experience of the $3, $4, $5 croissant at the coffee shop that they can't go to right now. Think experience. Think of things that are hard to do. Anything deep fried that you can teach them how to freeze and reheat so that it's as good as in the restaurant will sell like crazy because nobody wants to deep fry at home, Craig.
Right. Now, Dennis, I hear that some restaurants are having trouble getting the containers to get them out in. So, they don't have to be using disposable containers. Think about non-disposable dishes, charge a deposit on those dishes, and then pick them up and they can return them.
Yeah, like, so imagine if you're a Chinese food restaurant and you always send stuff out in the foil, whatever that we get our Chinese, or the styrofoam, whatever. What if now you just sold it out in great big containers with lids on them and that went out there and they then ate it and then they took the rest of the stuff out of your containers, put it into their containers, and then you went and picked up the other containers the next day because you have a delivery guy running all over town all the time anyways. So it ends up costing you nothing. You could probably even get away with surcharging it, right? So you could actually charge more to have it in reusable containers. Or you could say, hey, you know what? For the cost of the guy to pick it up while he's in the area the next day, or the odd time that someone goes, hey, nice containers, I'm going to keep them. And now you're in the container selling business. It's okay. Make sure your deposit is a healthy profit margin on the containers. And if they want to keep them, they keep them. But now you have an eco story. So now you're actually helping the environment because, man, oh man, we aren't doing a lot of takeout, Craig. We're actually cooking and doing stuff ourselves, strangely enough. But I could only imagine if I was eating takeout every day, what my garbage would look like. It would freak me out. I bought a soda stream because I got really tired of the bad feeling I had every time I had my Perrier empty bottles stacked up in a mound and I had to take them downstairs. People think about this stuff. So think about, how do you make yourself different?
Absolutely. Think outside the box here.
Outside the box. So one other idea with this is, as we're going to get into some of the next the next stuff, is by having your take and bake, you're going to have something that you can easily sample, which we'll get into another strategy about that. But having some of these, you're going to have a single serve sample that I'm going to show you how to use, I think, in the next second or the third point.
Well, let's get to the optimizing your takeout menu.
Yes. So 82% of customers say it's important for food to taste as good as it does in the restaurant, and over half say quality upon arrival is a top factor in choosing a delivery option. So what this means is, if you haven't ever done a takeout menu before, you don't just grab your most popular items and stick them on the takeout menu. There's going to be things that don't travel well. There's going to be things that don't reheat well. There's going to be things that taste bad when they're a little bit not warm and they don't reheat well. So you want to optimize your takeout menu to have your highest profit margin items. That's a real huge key because delivery fees can eat things up. So you need to test your takeout and delivery items. So you optimize it first, and then you actually make it, and then you have someone drive it to your wife at home in whatever you're planning to package it and however you're planning to handle it. And then your wife will tell you if it was acceptable or not, or other way around. Wife sends it to the husband or send it to your friend. The point is, you need to actually test it. You need to have it actually go on a road trip, go on a bicycle trip, get there eventually and see, is it soggy? Is it mushy? Is it this? Is it that? Should I be sending the sauce separately so that they put a little more thought into takeout than the old way of takeout, which is jam it all in a bag and send it out, right?
Now, some great things you can do with French fries to make them go better, Dennis.
Yeah, and French fries, hang on, I have a stat here somewhere. French fries are ridiculous. I think they're the number one thing that people order on takeout. Yes, the most ordered item for takeout and delivery are French fries. And strangely enough, most people don't do them a way that give a good experience for the customer. They're just regular old fries. Make your fries stand out. You will win friends, right?
So yeah, thick cut fries are going to go. If you can put them in a batter and a coating, it's going to make them stand up better. And use vented containers or vent your existing one, stab some holes.
Yeah, so the key is if you're going to send out the French fries in whatever container you already have, and it's completely closed, even if it's made of cardboard, they're going to arrive soggy, period. That's just science, right? So poke a bunch of holes in before you send them. Or McCain's actually had an interesting study where they said the best way to serve them is in a sleeve. So like the McDonald's side sleeve. And what you do is you put a napkin in all the way to the bottom behind the sleeve. And then you put your fries in, and then you fold the napkin over and you plug it into the front of the sleeve. And they say that is the #1 way to deliver French fries and have them arrive delicious. Then the other key is consider selling extra, extra large, maybe par done fries or completely done fries, and teach people how to heat them up. Figure out a way to make your fries reheat. Play around with 400 degrees for 10 minutes, 475 for 2 minutes, whatever it is. Figure out a way to reheat your fries so that you can say, preheat your oven to this much. Put the fries on a sheet in a single layer. Put them in. Leave them for no more than 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Even if it's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, 3 minutes and 22 seconds will sound more sciencey. It'll sound more specific. So make specific things. It's about experiences. It's not just about food anymore. It's about trying to give them that restaurant experience in their house. Let them assemble it a little bit, right?
Yeah. When you're thinking about your takeout menu, think about items that probably aren't going to be made at home.
Yes. Like fried foods.
Yeah.
Everyone hates setting up the deep fryer. It stinks up the house. You need like 7 gallons of oil to get the thing started. And then what do? You know, deep fried stuff goes well as long as you can teach how to reheat it well, right? Obviously, all your casseroles and stuff are perfect. But yeah, you want to be trying to figure out what things are going to work for takeout.
Right. And one of the biggest things, the smartest things that they can do with your takeout menu is get insulated food delivery bags, Dennis. So keep moisture control, insulation, get a better delivered product.
Yeah, so having that just stuck into a cooler, which I thought, hey, we could just shortcut it and do a cooler. Apparently they don't breathe well, so all your stuff ends up soggy. So yeah, actually investing a little bit of money in the proper delivery bags can really help your end product. You know, find out where Skip the Dishes or any of those guys are buying their stuff and buy theirs, because obviously they've done some work on figuring out what kind of thing is the best delivery mechanism, right?
Right.
So yeah. And now we get to the real big one, Craig. And this is one that a lot of people are scared of and they shouldn't be, but it's the do your own delivery. Save the 30%.
Exactly. Now, it doesn't mean you shouldn't use the third-party delivery apps for lead generation to get your first customer.
Yeah. So 30% is expensive, but it's not. Almost every restaurant I know has at one time given a 25% off or a 2-for-1 or a something to get new business in the door. So if you consider the third-party delivery apps as the person that's bringing you a customer, I have no problem with you paying them 30% to bring you a new customer. Where I get a little bit concerned about it is when they're bringing you a customer you already had, but maybe haven't been in communication with, well, then that's kind of on you. But if you had them and you're in communication with them and they just don't realize that they get dinged 30% or you get dinged 30% when they use a third-party app, then that's about, you need to educate your customers. The key where I get frustrated by it is I get paying 30% for a new customer, but I'm supposed to pay 30% for the rest of my life for that new customer. They come to me because of the app, because they didn't know me until the app. But once they eat my food, they don't come back to me because of the app, I don't think, Craig. They come back to me because I did a great job on delivering a great quality product and they wanted to eat it again.
Right. And some of it is convenient. So if you've got an easy way for them to place an order, either by your own app or your own app being the telephone, pick up the phone and call us.
This is the thing. You don't need to overcomplicate this. And I think this is the biggest problem. Everyone overcomplicates. Well, I'm going to need to have an app like one, like Uber Eats. I'm going to need an app like that of my own. And no. You can just put a takeout menu up, or all your takeout orders now get a little, delivery menu. And it simply says, kind of like the old Chinese, pick up the phone, call us. We'll take your order. We'll deliver it. Right. I mean, I've always thought Chinese restaurants are the best because, we've all got that Chinese receipt, and it's kind of soggy and greasy and all that kind of stuff, because it went from the guy who wrote it down when you were on the phone to the kitchen to be done, stuck to the top of your order, stuffed in the bag and sent to you. So it's brilliant. What I've always found amazing is I can't read a word on it. Now, I understand that maybe I can't read the Chinese characters on the Chinese food part, but up top where it's my name and address and phone number, you'd think I should be able to read it, and I don't, yet it magically shows up. So you don't even have to have good penmanship. You don't even have to have good anything. You can have an order pad or scraps of paper and a telephone, and you can make your own delivery start to work. You want to rank that up a little bit, of course. You get into a little bit of technology, like Delivery Biz Connect can help you with that. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated. Telephone, everyone has one.
So if I'm going to do my own delivery, some of the apps, the delivery apps are allowing you to use your own driver.
Yes.
But if you wanted to do that, there's a great opportunity right now in where the Canadian government is going to pay up to 75% of the wages to get your employees to come back. And you want to get your employees back. And there's a bunch of reasons you want them back. First of all, they want to be making more money than their UI. And you want to maintain the relationships that your customers have with your staff.
Correct.
And this is a great way to be able to do it in both pickup and delivery options.
Yeah. And staff retention is huge. And we're already hearing it more and more from restaurants that have to lay off their key people. And then next thing you know it, they find out that their key guy is not coming back because he's moved on to somewhere else that was willing to give him employment. So keeping your staff employed, and when it comes down to you're going to do your own delivery, you need to just go to your employees in the appropriate hierarchical, correct way for your company, and you need to say to the head waiter, hey, I'd like you to come back, and what I got for you is you're going to help pack the food, you're going to help handle the takeouts, you're going to help do the deliveries, and based upon you doing that, I'm paying you your full salary as if you were using all your skills as a waiter or waitress. So it's about redeploying the labor. It's bringing them back in, bring the ones that are most important to you, at least make the offer, let them say no. We've heard that some restaurants are struggling when they go ask their people to come back, they get in trouble and they're being told, well, hang on a second, I can sit at home and do nothing and make more than coming and working by the time I drive to you and drive back. So we might have gone overboard on helping everyone out. From the sounds of things, some employees don't want to come back because they're making more on EI. I don't know how that works, but this is what I've been starting to hear. So if you're doing your own delivery, the beautiful part is it's your people. It's the same waiter or waitress or person that they've seen in the restaurant before, reconnecting with your customer. You get higher staff retention. And of course, how many orders do you need to do to cover 25% of the cost of one of your staff members? Because the government's picking up the rest. So this is the time to make that shift, right? When we come back online, Craig, I don't think that restaurants are going to be easy to survive on the sort of reintroduction plan where you can only have a quarter as many or half as many seats.
No, it's going to be difficult. You're going to need to have the combination. I think we're seeing a fundamental change in the way restaurants are going to operate. Yep. So you're going to have to, be doing more delivery, more thinking outside the box. Speaking of thinking outside the box, you're going to need to think of ways to be talking to your customers through social media like Facebook, and getting out there and getting your customers talking to you there and publishing what you're doing and sending out emails to your database. And you maybe have that fish bowl full of business cards that
now's the time to use it.
Wondering when you're going to finally get a hold of everybody. Get those into a CRM. Step
one of doing your own delivery is really trying to get a hold of your data. So the real key is this: if you're completely sort of afraid of it, but you just want to get the word out, then it's absolutely a good idea to get on with one or two of the third-party delivery apps. Start with that so you learn the process, right? It's one thing to learn. You start with that, you learn the process. You make darn sure that every order you send out has your takeout menu in it with an offer. Now remember, Craig, I was telling you about the offer that I was thinking of when we talked about a baked lasagna. Well, imagine if every time you sent out something, instead of saying 20% off when you place an order, we're going to give you a free lasagna, right? You just cost yourself less in food cost, and you gave a bigger benefit to the customer, and you didn't reduce your revenue. And if every takeout order that you sent through one of the third-party delivery apps had a little personal size of that in there for free for them to taste, and then the menu, and of course the menu allows them to order those directly from you, but not on the takeout menu. So therefore, you don't run into problems with the third-party apps. It's a direct delivery of your item to them. It allows you to slowly warm up. You don't have the stress of you need to hurry, it's going to get cold. None of that. So if you start with one of the third-party apps and you let them do the deliveries, and you take the 30% and you make sure you're doing the right things with the data, from there you go on to putting your own driver into their app. They still charge you 9 or 10%, so it's cheaper, right? But that allows you, again, to have them teach you how, and your driver, how to do things, right? So it's like free training, right? Well, it's not free training, but it's training. And then the last step would be to put your own technology in place and completely have your customer database ordering directly from you and saving all of that. And then all that money is available to go into your staff. The neat thing about it is now your staff's back to work and they're making money. And what do? They spend their money in your community. So you're taking money that was going off to Winnipeg or San Francisco or God knows where some of the big guys are, and you're bringing it right back into the community. So this is just a win-win-win-win-win-win-win strategy. It's crazy.
Right. Because we talked about that for, the third-party apps. It's worth it for lead gen, but can cause financial pain on repeat orders. But
Yeah.
but let's get into what we're already talking about here, collecting customer data. So really, it's about data. You used to be able to rely on foot traffic and repeat customers coming to your location.
Yeah,
Not
and
anymore.
I don't even know how many times, over the last 4 years as we've worked with restaurants, that I'm in talking to them about putting CRM in their place. Oh, but you know what? We got Open Table and we got this and we got that. So I mean, like, we don't really need to have our data because it's all just sort of happening for us.
Right. So
But
where is their data hiding right now in
well,
plain
but just hang on. The reality is they weren't collecting it because they didn't think they needed to. But now what's interesting is all the ones that are doing really, really bang up delivery businesses are all the ones that actually were collecting the data. So this is the hard part. If you weren't collecting it, great. Now we need to fix that. But understand that you need to fix that. Moving forward, the old idea of my head waiter knows the people. They'll be back again. Oh, they come in because they see my sandwich board. They come in because my location is excellent. All those old way of thinkings are officially dead. They may come back, but it'll be a long time. So customer data is super, super, super critical. I've always said it's super critical. Now it's extra, super duper, triple critical. So yes, you used to be able to rely on footprint, but now we can't. So now let's jump into where the data is, Craig.
Well, we talked about it. It could be hiding in a fishbowl. Did you do a draw for the last number of months before COVID, and you put your business card into a fishbowl for a draw for a free lunch? You've got time, and you might even have staff now that are going to have time
at 75% off. At 75% off, right? But the other thing is if you're more of a formal restaurant that takes reservations, your reservation book is chock full of names and phone numbers. And you have time. If you simply had a CRM and you simply decided to spend the time, you could have the ability to SMS hundreds of people about your new delivery item. And if you're worried that you're a fine dining restaurant, I was talking to my friend Asif in Dubai, and he was talking about his Michelin 2 and 3-star restaurants, and they're doing humongous business in takeout. And when I suggested the idea, Craig, to him that he should be doing it on actual proper plates instead of takeout containers, he absolutely went crazy about it. And then I said, charge extra and have it actually delivered on a cart like the ones like you told me when we were talking about this, Craig. You walk in with all the stuff, you leave it at the door. It's on the hotel cart with the hotel domes. It's the hotel experience. He says they're getting 300 euros out of doing dinner for two. 300 euros. That's like 400 and some Canadian dollars probably. And they're getting this because the people are going, well, yeah, but it would have cost us 600 euros to go to the restaurant. People are doing this at the high end as well. So that's the neat part about it. If you have your data and you can let your customers know, man, if you have a reservation book, hey, let's talk, let's figure it out. Let's put a plan together and put your rent in the bank by the weekend.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then you need a place to put this data to follow up. You need to have some sort of customer data management system. You need to have a CRM or at least some autoresponder. You need some tools like Delivery Biz Connect that you can put everything together so you have a place to be able to put everything.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention on the bulk take and bakes. Remember, you can actually bring money in today. You can charge for them today and deliver them in 3 days. So if anyone needs to make their rent by the end of the month, you still have time to come up with one, get it out to your customers, and potentially have your rent come in sales for a bunch of take and bake items by the end of the month.
There
So
you go.
there are ways, right? Are you willing to change? Are you willing to accept the challenge? Are you willing to be at the forefront of things instead of waiting for when they come back to normal? So CRM, yes, 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 you need to have a CRM. We're big on CRM. We recommend Small Business Dream and Delivery Biz Connect because that's ours. And we have added a whack of really cool stuff in here, Craig. We've got route optimization. We've got very simple order entry to do by the phone. We're not telling you need to have apps and all that complicated stuff. Look, take the phone order, put it on a piece of paper, enter it later, have your person enter it after you took the phone order, or get advanced and have a little computer terminal there where they enter it right in real time. It's up to you. You can start simple. We recommend it. Start simple, figure it out. Add technology to increase efficiency and lessen mistakes.
Right.
Delivery Biz Connect can help you take the orders. We will be soon with the mobile app that'll actually track the driver coming to your door, allow you to place the orders online, all that stuff, just like one of the third-party apps. But there's no big commissions. We're waiving all of the commissions. We're waiving the startup fees. It's just there as a tool. It does route optimization. You can plug 5 orders in, you push the thing, and it'll send to your delivery driver a Google Maps pin that when they click on it, it shows them exactly which one to go to first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. And that's a round trip back to your restaurant, always optimized to be the fastest route for the driver. The reason this is important is I guarantee you that Chinese food driver knows the area better than anybody else. And the pizza guy, same deal. But you're talking about a person that's never driven before.
Right.
Never got on a scooter to deliver something before, never got on a bicycle to deliver something before. So giving them the ability to not get lost is pretty important.
Yeah. And I mean, let's face it. I mean, pizza and Chinese have been doing it manually, for decades. And we never complained about it. Somehow it always gets to us, hot. We're happy. Now we can start there, start adding in a little bit of technology. Start talking to your fan base, your customers. Get your Facebook cranked up again, your Facebook page, and start getting people commenting and posting what you're doing. And tell them, look, I want to bring some of my staff back. You can help me. And here's what we're doing. Keep them informed.
Yeah, there's a bit of a community play here too. And remember, educate. Your average person using one of the third-party apps, Craig, they're not even aware that what they're doing is detrimental to the company they're ordering from. I mean, if it's a regular customer of yours doing it, he's not doing it on purpose.
Nope.
He didn't know that 30%. I mean, who would imagine that they take 30%, right? So nobody's doing it to hurt you. All you need to do is educate. And most people get very, very instantaneously excited about helping you out by not ordering through someone taking 30%. So it's not that hard. And then when you tell the story of bringing back your staff, I mean, you could become the company that brought back all your staff. You become the news story. Then you get even busier. You sell more takeout. Just imagine stacks and stacks of lasagna or shepherd's pie or something just constantly walking out the door,
Absolutely.
I love it.
There you go. That's a Small Business Dream and Delivery Biz Connect and how it can help you get through COVID and then thrive after COVID.
And we have waived our $349 setup fee, and we have waived all of our commissions until after COVID. All you pay is $99 a month.
There you go. Check it out at deliverybizconnect.com.
Bye for now.